Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. As you all know, we're going to talk about Retirement Boss Radio today. So, radio is not for everyone, but for the folks that have some interest in it, we have seen some very strong results. And of course, we've got some limitations geographically because we have some areas that are taken. We do have limited area availability, which we can certainly talk about as well. But for those that enjoy the opportunity on the radio side and are able to adapt a little bit to the process of radio, we've seen some tremendous results there. So we're going to spend some time today with Dave Pimper, the developer of Retirement Boss Radio, talk a little bit about how it's worked for him and how it's worked for a number of folks using Retirement Boss Radio, how easy it can be to get that set up. That's, I think, what in the end has been most surprising to a lot of folks is how easy that getting into the radio business can be now in this age of technology. So my name is Steve Murray. I'm the Executive Vice President here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Obviously, one of the main requirements or responsibilities of my position is to make sure that we've got, besides good products and good incentives and good service here, and good capabilities, is to make sure that we have systems and opportunities set up to help you be more effective, more efficient, and more productive in your practice. And so we do a lot of things here to do that, whether it's seminars, radio, whether it's client appreciation events, digital media marketing. There's a number of things that we do to make sure that our producers have plenty of folks to talk to every day. And then we also do some things that are kind of sales training that can help you as you're in front of folks, increase your effectiveness. So today what we're going to talk about with Retirement Boss Radio is a lot of the front end of that marketing to get yourself in front of more people and how that system is set up to make it very easy and hopefully very profitable for you to be in radio. As we get started, a couple things I want to mention. There are a couple polls that will come up. Just hit a quick yes or no. No big deal there. It really serves to let us know what level of interest that you may have in certain things that we're talking about. And then if you have any questions, if you can type them in. With the large groups, it's just hard to leave the mics open for everybody to ask questions live. So we ask you to type the questions in and we'll get them asked and answered just as quickly as we can. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started? We do a couple things up front just to make sure that you're all aware of the programs that we have and how we can help you. I always like to talk a little bit about a couple programs that over the time since we've introduced them, probably the last 12, 15 years, have easily been our two most popular programs that producers have taken advantage of. We'll start with the bottom one there, marketing reimbursement. It's a very simple program. When you do business, any business with IAMS, money goes into your marketing reimbursement account, and then you can send in receipts from your marketing, and we will match your spend dollar for dollar on anything that you do to grow your business. So that could be things like seminar mailings. It could be if you decide radio is something you want to do, the expenses associated with that. If you are doing mailings, anything that you do to grow your business is eligible for marketing reimbursement. And what I want you to know is we're big believers here in marketing at Insurance Agency Marketing Services, so we want to help you with that any way that we can. We think matching what you're spending dollar for dollar is a good way to exhibit our interest and our belief in the power of marketing. Right now, what we have in terms of products to the consumers that we do most of our marketing towards, that kind of that 50 to 75 age group, folks that are maybe a little bit more conservative now in nature with their investments, understand the value of ensuring incomes and ensuring their retirement. The products that we have really point very well to that marketplace, and the more people that understand that and the more people that see your expertise in that area, the more business you're going to do. It's just there's just no doubt that there's a direct correlation between what you do marketing wise and how that's going to grow your business. And we also know here at IAMS, like you do, that referrals is a big part of growing our business, and so we reward our producers for the referrals through our RPM program, that referred producer program. There's a couple ways that can be beneficial to you. One is if you mention a name to one of our sales directors and they're going to reach out to that person and they're going to say, hey, Joe mentioned that maybe there's a service or benefit or feature or a program or incentive that we have here that might be of interest to you. If they get licensed, we're going to send you $50. That's just a basic little thank you. But every quarter, and for some folks every month, we send out now checks based on the business that their referrals do. And remember, that money does not affect the money that we send to you as a referrer, does not affect your referral at all. We take that money that we send you out of our marketing budget. It's money that normally we might spend on email blasts or ads or any of our other marketing initiatives here. So we send out to you checks based on the business that they do, kind of a bonus for producer money, we call it. And we do that for most folks. We do that quarterly. So once the checks get to be, above 3,000 or 4,000, then we'll start setting those checks out on a monthly basis. We want to get that money in your hands, and we think the immediacy of that is encouraging to you. And we know that a lot of folks take that money and put it back into their business to build it. So we want to get that money in your hands quicker. But for most people, they're receiving those checks on a quarterly basis. It's a thank you from us. And then, of course, you're going to get a big thank you, just like you would thank anyone that is kind enough to refer people to you. It's a great way to grow your business, and we appreciate it very much. And we, besides the monetary benefit to you, we want you to know that we appreciate those referrals in many ways here at IAMS. And so thank you for those of you out there that have already made referrals to us and are enjoying some of that referred producer money. I'm looking at our attendees, and I know that a few of you get those checks fairly regularly. We appreciate it a great deal, and we're glad that we can send you checks. They're my favorite checks to send out, frankly. A couple things and I'm looking at our list, and this webinar tends to attract folks that are already in the IAMS family and have already taken advantage of new producer bonuses. I see a couple names that I don't recognize on our webinar here today. So I want to at least let you all know that during your first 180 days of contract with us, there's a new producer bonus that's available to you. And it's a pretty simple program based on the level that you choose to take advantage of that bonus. You can choose from anywhere from a website to marketing reimbursement to a Ritz-Carlton travel package, or if you want to get in the seminar business, we're going to help you with that, and we'll get you a seminar, we'll get you their first mailing, and we'll get you your coaching. So there's a lot of different things you can take advantage of there. The key is that we know that you're doing business somewhere. We're hoping that with this new producer bonus, you'll look and say, hey, let me divert some business over to IAMS here as I'm getting started with them. And we're hoping that what you feel when you divert that business is what I call the IAMS difference. So it's kind of the service and attention that you get to the business and the quick pickup of your phone calls, and the fact that we got really knowledgeable people on the other end. And so my hope is that you'll take advantage of that new producer bonus. And once you see the IAMS difference, you'll want to swing all your business that way. So it's a little bit of a loss leader for us, a little bit of a monetary commitment that we can't make on every producer, but we think it's a great way to get you introduced to the IAMS family. So hopefully you all will take advantage of that. And this is part of the support, and I throw this slide up. Those of you that have been doing business with IAMS for a while know about this, know the difference it can make. And it's awfully hard to sell folks because everybody says they've got great service. So what you'll notice if you get with IAMS and start doing business through IAMS, what you'll notice is that you're going to have people paying attention to your business every day. They're going to keep you in the loop as to what's happening. So you'll get emails from the carrier maybe, or you may get a contact at some point from a carrier. But generally, what our guys have come to depend on is the interaction they have with our team here in Omaha, that daily or every other day, where they're kind of brought up to date on what their business is, how we can get that pushed through there quickly, take advantage of, kind of a really full-scale back office support to grow your business. And that's what we do here at IAMS. And that starts with the case design. We've got experienced people on the phone. Some FMOs, that others may work with have relatively young and experienced on the phone, and they're really more like a telemarketer. They're out, trying to gain new producers all the time. And not that we're not trying to do that here at IAMS, because we've got to grow our business as well. But we know that to have good support and good assistance when you call in is imperative to your business. And so you're going to find some experienced people on the case design side that can help you and answer your questions, help you select just the right product in the right situation. And then from there, that back office support is going to kick in, and we call it the submission to commission process. And that truly is. So after your business is issued, we're still making that final call and saying, hey, is there anything that's holding up that commission, and when can we get that out to the agent? Because we know that's very important to you. So we want to get that out to you as quickly as possible. We want to make sure nothing's holding that up. So we're going to be pretty full scale on that, and I know that you're going to feel the difference from the FMO that you might currently be doing some of your business with. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. We've got truly great back office support. We also have a great creative team. I want you to think of those as your internal advertising team. We're going to do everything that we can for you at little or no cost, kind of pro bono, because we want you to be successful, and we know that creating the right image and then projecting that image is important to that. Now, there's some things that, it's a partnership that we can't deliver unless we're doing business together, but we're going to do everything out of the gate that we can to show that we want to be a partner to you. So if you haven't not taken advantage of what we can make available to you on the marketing side, I would encourage you to call your sales director or call and ask for somebody in our creative sales team directly and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Can you help me? How does that work? Keep in mind that these folks work just in our business, and they work with people doing just exactly what you're doing every day. So we've got some great templated stuff out there. We've got some great tools out there that we know that everybody in our business can use, and then we can help you with some more custom stuff for your business, whether it's logos, business cards, helping you with your digital media. We can help you grow your business, and you'll be amazed at how much they can do and how high quality that work is. We got a lot of great stuff on IAMS website. We've also just added a Firelight link. Firelight is an e-app system. So if you do e-apps, and right now you go to, writing a business with American Equity, you have to go to the website. You're writing a business with AIG, and you have to go to the website. You don't have to do that anymore. You've got a connection to Firelight that is specific to IAMS. It's specific to IAMS producers now on our website. We are hopefully in full-fledged production on that. It may be that you have a question. I know that we do have to authorize you, so if you're doing your business e-app-wise, you can now do that from our website. Just give Amber or anybody in our sales team a call and have them authorize you to use that, and then you won't have to go from carrier to carrier. You have what we call a single sign-on here on our website. That's besides all the other great stuff that's still out there. If you're not taking advantage of our website, call your sales director and say, hey, what's out there that I can use? If they don't direct you, for instance, to the IAMS online library, that'll be a true oversight, because there's a lot of great information out there, a lot of tools that you can use, a lot of quoting tools that you can use, a lot of ways that you can grow your business by using the website. So by all means, check that out. Retirement Analyzer is a nice little piece of software. If you're not using a piece of software like this, where you can put your client's information in and then come out with a kind of a fully integrated plan that shows all of their current situation and what they need to do to get to where they want to get, Retirement Analyzer is probably the most comprehensive and most graphic piece of software out there. Right now, we're making that available to producers at no cost. We're making a trial available to folks that have not produced with us as well, so you can look at it, see if it might be a fit for your business. And so if you have questions on that, or if you want to use that, give Marcus Soller here in our office a call and let him walk you through and get you set up with the trial and see if that's something that you can use to help you with some of those more in-depth client relationships that you have, because it will truly take you out of just a one sales situation, puts you into a planning situation with your client. That's very valuable. It's a great way to ensure yourself kind of repeatable business going forward. IAMS Wealth is a great addition to the IAMS family of companies. It's about 2 years old. It's a RIA. If you are an IAR, you have a Series 65, and maybe you don't currently have a place where you're doing that business, or maybe you do and it's not been beneficial for you for whatever reason, you might want to look at our RIA. They've got great payouts. They have low expenses. They have great support. Really, truly, in many ways, follows the IAMS way of doing business, and it applies that to the wealth management side. And what we have seen from our guys over and over again is they're just stunned by the level of individual support and service that they get. So if you have interest in that, what I'm going to ask you to do really quickly is just hit yes on the poll. If you don't, hit no, and we won't bother you with that. So that you can increase your revenue with your managed money, and you're going to see better client retention when you've got this part of your business in place, and you're going to really be viewed by your client in a much different way if you have managed money as part of your business as well. So if you don't have a 65 and you might need some help getting that, hit yes on that poll. You can talk to Charles or Mike. They'll be glad to walk you through that process and we support financially and with the training, people that want to get a 65. If you have your 65 and you think your fees might be too high, we get great feedback that our fees are very reasonable. In fact, probably below what most people expect. And maybe if you're not happy with your payouts, maybe if your payouts run through a grid, so maybe they've told you, hey, you got a 1% payout, it runs through an 80% grid, so you're really looking at an 80 basis point payout. We do not have a grid. Right now, our producers at the basic level make just a little over 1%, which is nice, and that does not run through a grid. So if you're not happy with your payout or your current RA, we want to explore that as well. By all means, check yes on that poll, and Charles or Mike would be glad to spend 15 or 20 minutes with you on the phone and talk a little bit about what they do, how they do it, and see if that might be a fit for you. Thank you all for voting so quickly. It looks like we've got almost everybody voted. I appreciate that. Those of you that haven't voted, if you have a question about that and you want to talk with me before you talk with the folks, give me a call here at the office. It's 800-255-5055. Just ask for Steve. I'll be more than happy to spend a couple of minutes with you. So I'm going to close that poll out in the interest of getting moving here. I've talked too long, as usual. One thing that I want to mention to you, so we have many things that we do here at IAMS. Probably the most recognized in the industry in terms of the training is our IAMS Life and Annuity Academies, and we do those probably 4 a year. The fourth one that we're doing this year is already full, and so the next one will be early next year. If you have interest in joining us for an academy, I would encourage you to let your sales director know that. Just give them a call and say, hey, I want to get on your docket. They'll send you, if you'd like, a nice agenda and a registration form that you can send back to them, and so you can see what the hour by hour is at those. They are really pretty well sought after right now within the industry, and we'd love to have you join us if you have not already. So give your sales director a call and let them know you have some interest in that. Just call us at 800-255-5055. Say, I'm interested in joining you for an academy early next year, and we'll get you on the docket for that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Retirement Boss Radio. Dave, are you with us?
I certainly am. How are you doing, Steve?
Great. I'm sorry. I've used probably more time than I should have. So I'm just going to do a quick intro of Retirement Boss Radio, and I want to give you a little background on Dave. So Dave has coached with us now for about 13 years, 14 years. He was a top producer before that. When he mentioned that he did some coaching on one of our conventions, I said, hey, is this something we can work on together? And it has really been a great conversation we had, because we've been doing that and helping many of our producers, whether it's with Social Security claiming seminars, regular seminars, now Retirement Boss Radio, for many years with great results. So it's been a great addition to the IAMS family. And the reason for that is that not only is Dave in his own right a very good producer, but he is also a very good marketer and a very good coach. And to have that package all together is really beneficial to our team for a lot of reasons. So we really appreciate having someone with Dave's over almost 30 years of experience, or over 30 years of experience in the business, probably 500 seminars under his belt. I've been doing radio for 10 or 12 years, and he put together a really nice program with the Retirement Boss Radio. So, Dave, why don't you walk everybody through what we do and how we do it on the Retirement Boss Radio, and let's see if we can help some folks get into the radio business.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you. There's, it's a kind of a unique niche that has interest in radio. This is not radio advertising. This is becoming a host for your own radio show. And this is not for everybody. I mean, this is kind of like a cardiologist when it comes to marketing. I'm a big seminar guy. Seminars are much more, it's easier to get into seminars. There's not nearly as many moving parts to seminars. You're not working with, per se, a radio station or a production company. But what happens with radio is there is a different image when it comes to radio. And just to give you an idea about myself, and I'm going to talk here for about 20, 25 minutes and then see if there's any questions at all. But I started the business in 1981, so that's 38 years ago. It's a long time, and of that time period, 25 years of those, I've had some type of radio show or ads going. Actually, half of that time, I've had an actual radio show, and used to be for 45 minutes, now for an hour, and then I did a ending market report from the security side for about 13 of those years. And so I've always been around radio. It's been very good. as far as a client a generation piece, but there's been nothing better than what I've been using as of late in as far as getting appointments. And the reason for that is because when I set this up a little over a year ago, called Retirement Boss Radio, Take Charge of Your Money, and that is trademarked. Retirement Boss Radio, Take Charge of Your Money. It's a trade. You know, we got a legal trademark on that, so no one else can. We want to expand that out through the U.S. Is that the goal here? Is that when you record this, it's not live. My first 12 years were live. Now it's recorded, which gives you a lot more freedom and flexibility. But I want an ongoing, steady stream of appointments that are set up for me. And so, if there's any questions whatsoever, certainly, just go in and type them on in, and we will go and we will take it from there. So I'll see if I've got kind of the controls here, which I think I do. There we go. So why radio? First of all, tons of people listen to radio. Get a load of this, and it's true. Radio reaches more Americans each week than any other platform. Is that wild? More than your smartphone, your TV, any personal connected or TV devices. It's wild. The average age of listening to radio across the board is 61. That's the perfect. And I work with the pre-retired and just retired. A few more males, 56 males, 44 females. Radio no doubt reaches more of an upscale listener. 93% of all adults that earn $75,000 or over for household income, they listen to radio 12 hours a week. 12 hours a week they listen to radio. When you go out and you give a seminar, and I'm not at all bashing seminars, so we've had very, very good success, especially with the new digital Social Security seminars that we have, very good success. But you're not viewed as much as an expert as when somebody hears you on the radio or hears you on television. But on radio, you're viewed as that expert. And I'll tell you, news talk like Rush Limbaugh station, Sean Hannity, Dave Ramsey, all of the news talk radio, I want to tell you right now, it's hot, hot, hot. It's really, really has gotten much more listenership. And this is just a Nielsen stat to support that radio has, hours per week, people are much more with radio than any other device. So, like I said, who's on radio? Well, Rush Limbaugh is the big king. In conservative talk, no doubt, is from talk radio is strong, but Kim Komando, Dave Ramsey, you bet. And the reason people have like these Rush syndicated shows, especially during the week, because they're making money. They're generating a profit for the bottom line, and that's what we're trying to do here on the weekend. The weekend gets more open time. So I say fabulous content. Why Retirement Boss Radio? The content is very, very good. There's three parts to Retirement Boss Radio or radio in general to be your own host for an hour. You got to have the radio station and you got to have the right time. So, and the right pricing. So normally Saturday from 8 until late afternoon are good times. The prime time is from 8 until about 2. And then Sunday, probably from 10 o'clock in the morning to maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My personal show right now is on Sunday from 12 to 1. So I kind of catch the people going after church, people driving to go to Lowe's. They're listening, in their house, at right at lunchtime. And when we've had very, very good success. What happens is the content that we have, I get from our production company, I get the radio show notes, and then I go through that and I revise all of the notes every week. It takes me a couple, 2-3 hours to do that, but I want we know there's some hot buttons that people really call in on. And what happens with most kind of uh, shows like this is the offer is not very strong. Our offers are extremely strong, meaning when you offer what was available for people to call in, if you're just doing a review, and I did that for years and years and years and years, and I can count them on my hands and my feet. you know, you know, I mean, I just didn't get many appointments. I got well known, and it helped my business. But I want appointments. That's important. I want like last week, I had 3 set appointments from Retirement Boss Radio. The week before, 3 appointments. The week before, 4 appointments. The week before, 2 appointments. Have I gone a week and not had any appointments? Yeah, it happens. Not too often, but it's happened. And have I had a week where I've had 5 appointments? Yeah, not very often, but it's happened. But if I can average 2, 3 appointments a week, and really the cost of radio, having the radio station, the time, the production company does all the editing, mixing, takes all the bloopers out, puts your ads in, the media buyer. I have a media buyer that has over 400 radio and television stations throughout the United States that he has airtime going each and every week. Very good at what he does. And if you call in and say it's from XYZ metro area and we'd like to go on in, and you probably need 150,000 or more in your area to really make this work properly. So small rural areas will not work. It just isn't going to be part of the plan. But what happens is that he goes in and he's most likely worked with that radio station before. The fella's background on radio stations is incredible. And so he gets much better pricing normally than if you would go out yourself. But that's part of the deal. And then when people call in, it's recorded, but it sounds live, and they call in to a toll-free number that goes not to you, but directly to our call center. Now it's a third-party call center. Those are higher-end call center representatives that take your call and set the appointment. And we have actually electronic calendar that syncs with. They have it with your calendar. We update it every Friday, and it takes about 20 minutes, and we go 6, 7, 8 weeks out. And so they're booking in time periods. They know when to book on your calendar. It's really slick. It took a lot of trial and error for us to get this right. I tested this for first 6 months, and then we rolled this out about 7 months ago. Coaching with me, I certainly have a good background when it comes to radio, but we have coaching sessions of what you can expect. I coach you kind of a little bit if you've not done radio before of what sells, what doesn't, what not to say, what do say. I've got a list of about 20 items of absolutely should not say because it's going to hurt your chances of a person coming on in and doing business. We've got people that are with Retirement Boss Radio that do strictly insurance business, meaning annuity business that are successful. And certainly we've got people who are securities licensed like myself who do the whole gamut that have been successful. But having kind of that one-on-one coaching, we do have coaching sessions before we actually get you on the air. It's a turnkey system. And there's anywhere from 10 to 20, usually 15-second promos promoting your show on that radio station throughout the week, which is really drives traffic to it. So when you look at kind of the production company who we work with, and I'm going to walk through this again, there's a production company that goes in. They provide show notes to me. I take them, revise them, and then get them out to all of our radio hosts under Retirement Boss Radio. Very good commercials, very good editing, sounds live, the call to action. That's the only thing we actually read. Everything else is done from bullet points and notes. The airtime package, like I said, the guy is great at what he does, is very competitive. You've got coaching, one-on-one coaching from me, and then the call center. So that's the 4-part of the turnkey system. And what's a key part is finding that call center. I had to go through a couple to find one that was extremely good. And are they perfect? No, but they're very good, and they set lots of appointments for us. Their goal is to set an appointment, not to just get the contact for you to call them back, but to get the appointment. Now, we do call them back the next day or on Monday after the weekend and just verify everything does work. But yes, that's what we do. I talk about becoming kind of a local celebrity. I think that what seminar marketing doesn't do, it doesn't give you a celebrity status. There's no doubt people like to work. I mean, if Rush Limbaugh came on in, or Dave Ramsey, there's going to be a huge crowd because they follow him. I get people all the time that say, I'll say, well, what did I say on radio? Like, what brought you in? Say, well, I've listened to you now for 6 or 7 weeks, and you know what? I finally just feel like I could trust you. Well, we never even met before, but I'm in their living room or their den or their car through radio, building that relationship. Okay, so if you had to go in from the cost of something like this, the whole turnkey, including my working through in the coaching, it's going to be about the same as a dinner workshop. So if you're spending, I would say from $2,500 probably is the low for a month, and it might range $5,000 to $6,000 a month as a high. But you know what? We're trying to get 10 to 12 appointments, and it doesn't happen usually the first month. Like my first 3 times, I did not get an appointment, but then things started ramping on up for me. We also, for a small fee, we can go and publish it. I do it on iTunes just to get it out there more, and that's kind of the podcast that we have. And if you'd like to get more information, just go to www.retirementbossradio.com. That's our website, www.retirementbossradio.com. You can listen. I keep my current podcasts of the actual show themselves. Now, this gives you an idea of what comes into us. This was back in March of this year, and this fella, I've actually crossed out his name and his email phone number, but he calls in, and this comes from our appointment call center. They emailed this to us right after the call. But it came from KFAB Radio, which is the Rush Limbaugh station, big AM, 50,000 watt station in Omaha. Appointment was scheduled 8:30 on the specific date. Okay, that's when the appointment time was. And then the comments from my call center was turning 59 soon, hasn't settled on someone yet. He, meaning an advisor, he has a 401k that is 7-figured. They lied to me. It was $969,000. Also had questions about Social Security. So he's still working for the firm, worked for him for 38 years, has nearly $1 million. He's concerned about being as aggressive as he is. And what can he do at 59 and a half? Yeah, we called the trustee, or the custodian of the 401k. He can do a 1031, he can do a in-service non-hardship withdrawal plan. That means he can take money out of this plan, part or all, and roll it over into an IRA, and he can still work for the company, give to the plan. So that actually is in October of this year. It's next month, and I've been staying in contact with him, and we're going to meet next month at the end of October, right before Halloween, and he's looking at moving $500,000. That now, do I have it yet? No, I don't. But it gives you an idea of the power of what radio does. This guy probably would never go to a seminar, but he will call me up from a radio. And I asked him if he's called other radio people. He says no. He was driving his car down from Sioux City, Iowa, visiting relatives up there, and it's about a 2-hour drive. And he listened to the show and wrote it down and gave me a call. The nice thing here is this: it's recorded. So when it's pre-recorded, you can there's about, from Amazon, there's about $150 or $60 worth of equipment. There's a mic, there's a windshield for that mic, so your P's don't pop. There is we supply the software that's done online. So as long as you got a computer, a laptop, or a big computer, you can do this anywhere you want to. I do it in my office. I do it on Monday morning, and it takes me about half an hour to record my show. And we have a co-host. So Steve does a great job of co-hosting. He hosts all of the people that do Retirement Boss Radio. So there's a co-host. It makes it so much more interesting. Certainly go to retirementbossradio.com. I'll tell you right now, you'll get a feeling of the quality. And it's great. I mean, I'm not trying to beat my chest, but we've got territories that are open because this is a newer program that IAMS and myself are rolling on out. But I will say this, and then I'll jump Steve Murray. I'm sure there probably have been some questions because we got quite a few folks that are on the webinar with us today. But it says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Well, you know what? Tomorrow never comes, does it? And I'll tell you right now, if you heard something today, that doesn't mean you're going to do this. Believe me, when you sign yes, I want to talk to Dave Pemper, really only put yes down if you'd like to talk with me, because what we'll do is later today when we get this, or tomorrow morning, one of my three administrators will, Lynn, Lori, or Amy will give you a call and just say, hey, here's a time that works for Dave, and then we can talk for 25, 30 minutes just about your marketing, what you're doing. Could this be a fit in your practice? Is it something that you can afford? What are the ins? What are the outs? Every kind of marketing has its good points and has its bad points. But I'll tell you this, every time that I see on my phone during my show and just after, and I see those appointments lining up, they're set appointments, specific dates, specific times, specific people who want to see me. It's just like Christmas every Sunday. I'm not kidding you. It's exciting. And by far the majority of the people that set the appointment keep the appointment. It's been very profitable for me. It's been profitable. Some of the folks that are having Retirement Boss Radio right now, we'd like it to be, profitable for yourself also. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put up a slide. Steve, if you could do that, if you'd like to get more information, and then if you have questions, type them on in, and Steve will be more than happy to go in and to talk about those. And just as right before the slide goes up, but it says, Al Jolson, an actor, said, I'd like to do radio just like pictures leave the imperfect stuff on the cutting room floor. Well, you know what? We do that here at Retirement Boss Radio. It's pre-recorded, it's recorded, and then it's edited, and it's mixed, and it comes out just like it's live. In fact, when we say, let's open, Steve, our co-host, will say, Dave, let's open up the phone lines. And my number is 888-975-2677. That's 888-975-BOSS, B-O-S-S, because we do that whole BOSS theme throughout the program itself. So, Steve, are you there? I think I did here and there. He'll be coming on shortly. One of the questions that is brought up, and before we put the poll up, one of the questions that is brought up to us is from a cost standpoint. And most people think that it has to cost. There's some other FMOs out there that are charging $10,000, $15,000 per month. That isn't the case with us. Now, if you're in LA, New York, Chicago, and you want WLS out of Chicago, one of the big stations, even WLS, which is one of the largest AM, most noted AM stations in the nation, with a tremendous listenership. He got quoted that was going to cost him $18,000, and we're still in the negotiations right now. But for the whole everything, we're around $9,500 to $10,000. Now that sounds very expensive, but we're expecting to get 8 to 10 appointments per week. And you start figuring that out, and all of a sudden, it isn't nearly as expensive as it sounds. That's in a huge market. We just did one that was in a $2 million city down in the Southwest, and we were able to go. And this was a piggybacked AM station with a FM, smaller FM station with it, so really 2-in-1. And we were able to get that for under $3,000, the total turnkey package with my coaching and support. So that's one of the questions that come up a lot. And Steve, I don't know if you're on the line with us or not, but he'll be coming here shortly to go on in and to bring up the poll. But if you've got any questions, again, type them in, and then when Steve Murray gets back, he will certainly go in and talk about that. Hold on just for one quick sec. So another question, and I'm just looking at them right here, another question that came on up is, once you say, yes, I want to do this, how long does it take? Well, what happens is that you've got to go in and you've got to find the station in your area. Sometimes there's not a good station that's left. There's no good locations that are, that's like real estate. Location. So what happens, we've got to get that right radio station. We've got to find the right time, and we got to make sure that pricing is within your budget. And so those are the three things that have to happen first. That normally takes at least, I would say, 10 days to 2 weeks. And then I've got 3 coaching sessions that I want to get done before you actually do your first recording. And then that first recording takes a week to actually be edited, a week to 2 weeks to be edited, and then go live. So from the start to the finish, there certainly is a month to 6 weeks that we go in, and from a time standpoint, before you're up and live and you've got those set appointments coming through the email. And I say email because that's how our appointment setting call center does it, is right when they get done and they set the appointment, then boom, they touch it, and then they give you, it's called an IntelliForm, and then all on there is all of their vital information. Another question, I see this coming on up right now. Do I have to be a good speaker? Well, there's certainly, you always joke about, boy, you got a radio face, great voice, not much to look at. What happens here is, because it's not live, you can make mistakes. Because it's not live, you can go in and you can truly cut all of the bad stuff out of this, okay? So that's a good question. There's a couple people that I just said, I just don't think you would probably be good in radio. And another thing that can happen, Dave Pimper, I've got one right now that I'm actually doing the show for them. And we've had a lot of good calls come on in. I do the show, promote them. That's also something that we can do. I'd rather have you do it, but I would consider that. Steve, I'm going to have you jump on the line. I know that the poll just went on up. I was just going through some of the questions. Is there any other questions that we need to go on in and address for our folks that are on the webinar today?
Well, Dave, I know that you do Social Security, and so there's been a couple questions about Social Security claiming in general and how that might work into the radio. And I know that that's something that you promote rather heavily, so it might be good to talk about that for just a second.
That's good. Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. There's no doubt that Social Security claiming is a hot topic. It's a hot topic for our seminars that we do. It's a hot topic for Retirement Boss Radio. If you do not have a background in Social Security claiming, then I will take extra coaching classes to coach you up on Social Security claiming. So it's really 2-in-1. You're getting the radio program, but you're also getting coached up on Social Security claiming. We do have free software for 3 months with a major vendor that we give you, and that was a deal that IAMS, the FMO, that of course Steve is the CEO of. It's kind of nice, CEO, president of. And what happens is that we also have, from a coaching standpoint, a lot of attachments that come with Social Security. A person came in to me strictly. I mean, I'm closing on this Friday. It's the third appointment I've had with her. She came from Retirement Boss Radio, and she came in with a kind of a simple Social Security question. She was divorced, married 9.5 years, and you actually need to be married for 10 years before you can use your ex as if you're still married to him for enhanced spousal privileges. But it went from there to where she actually didn't. We asked them to bring in their investment and insurance annuity statements. She didn't, but she was unhappy with her current agent, and actually it was 2 big annuities that were transferring over out of surrender charges, and it's a $500,000 plus. So what happens? You don't need a lot of those to pay for your radio show for months to come. Any other questions, Steve?
I think that's the last one, but one thing I'll add to that certainly is there's no doubt that it could be a good avenue. If you do both Social Security claiming seminars and radio, it's a great avenue to advertise your seminars as well, and they work very well together. I think that's all the questions that we have, Dave. We had a lot of interest in radio, which doesn't surprise me. As you know, the next steps are seeing if territories are available and then finding out which radio stations might be the best one. As Dave mentioned, we've got a great partner there that does a great job and gets great rates and additional kind of what Dave and I call freebies, where you get commercial time and things like that. They really do a great job with that and getting the best times available through the best stations and getting as much as we can. So the next step for all the folks that have some interest would be Dave will reach out via your yes answer on the poll, and then we can begin the process of seeing how this will work for you. Been a great webinar as always, Dave. You did an excellent job of walking through Retirement Boss Radio because there weren't. I think people have a really good idea of how that works. So
yeah, you bet. And I will kind of end on this. Thank you very much for taking time out on a Tuesday. It's the middle of the week before Hump Day, so I know people are out there making things happen. But getting set appointments, set for you, where you're doing the radio show, but they're calling in and the call center is setting the appointment. I'll tell you right now, you know what? If I can get 10, 12 appointments per month, and pricing is for me is pretty competitive. One of the reasons was the media buyer did a very good job of getting a very competitive pricing at the radio station, which is certainly one of the biggest expense, because you pay that per week. I mean, you pay it actually monthly, but it's done per week. So yeah, if you've got some interest about radio marketing, or in that matter of fact, even seminar marketing, because we do Social Security workshops with a lot of success, but certainly, Mark, yes, we'll talk, and I'll tell you right now, it's pretty low key. What I'm trying to do is to help your business, give you ideas what you could do or what you possibly could do to increase the amount of people that you see each and every day. If I can do that, then it's mission accomplished, and I'm looking forward to talking to a lot of folks.
Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated. Thank you all for joining us here this morning. As Dave mentioned, sometimes Tuesdays can be kind of busy, and the fact that you were willing to take out a little time of your day to join us and learn a little bit more about radio means a lot to us. And if those of you that have interest, hopefully we can be of some service to you. I think you'll be pleased with how easily, seamlessly we can get you into the radio business. And from there, I think you'll be surprised by how quickly you will build a reputation in your area and help your business in many different ways. So great opportunity here for all of you. Thank you, Dave, for putting this together and for your eloquent recount of how we can help these folks, because I do think that we can really make a difference in businesses with radio. So have a great finish to your sales week, everyone. Thank you again, Dave. And again, if you have questions and you want to chat with us, give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great finish to your week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.